Okay, we've finished barriers in animals. Now we're just going to go through barriers in plants. This is a lot quicker. There's not as many and it's not quite as difficult. There's a few questions on past exams on these, and you should definitely have a look at the end of your booklet to see if there are questions about physical or chemical barriers in plants. So we're still on page 5. We're on the second half of the page now, filling out that table. So the first one are physical barriers in plants. Thinking like a plant and comparing it to a human is the easiest way to remember this. Think about our leaf structure that we drew earlier. Now again, you cannot be examined on leaf structure, but understanding what it is makes it easier to remember. So on the outside of your leaf, you have a waxy cuticle. We often say the waxy cuticle is there to prevent bacteria and pathogens entering. Now we're bringing it back in again. So it is. It's just like skin. So it's a nice waterproof barrier, like our skin, waterproof barrier that enables nothing to get past it. Okay, so that's really helpful. We also have cell walls in plants. A lot of plants have bark. Yes, think about what else they might have. They might have things like thorns. Thorns are going to be a physical barrier. But a little bit less in this case because we're talking about microbiological organisms. You've also got stomata, so you can close the stomata when they get signaled, and that will stop pathogens from entering. So it's kind of like they have hormones, they have signaling molecules, and someone detects that there's pathogens trying to enter, so that the plant will close its stomata. So it's pretty cool. Also, the orientation of leaves. Can you see these vertical leaves here? You might have a plant at home that has vertical leaves. What it means is that when water falls on the leaf, it doesn't pull. Because if water pulls on a leaf, then that means it's a potential site for bacteria, fungi, worms, whatever it is, viruses to hide. So what we want to happen is we want the water to hit the leaf and run off. So by having a vertical leaf, you are protecting yourself against pathogens. Okay. The only other barrier we need to know in plants is one of chemical barriers. Now there are two main kind of themes with these chemical barriers. They can either be enzymes, like the ones in our tears, yeah, so there's the same link, or it could be the secretion of a toxin. Okay, so some plants secrete toxins. I'm going to go through a couple of examples that are a bit cool that might help you to remember. So if you can't, these are the two general ideas behind it. And then if you can remember one example, that makes it a little bit more oomphy in terms of your knowledge. So in particular, I like to focus on this guy here, caffeine, and I also like to focus on citronella. So caffeine, you find it in coffee plants, you find it in tea plants, you find it in cocoa plants. If an insect tries to eat caffeine, they die. Yeah, it's toxic to them. So the caffeine that gives us lots of energy as animals is actually toxic to insects and fungi going to eat them. The other one that you might have used at home is the citronella. So here's the caffeine in insects. So it's a natural pesticide that paralyzes and kills them. Pretty crazy. The other one is this one called citronella. So citronella, you might have had a citronella candle, you might have had a citronella coil, something like that. And it works by producing a scent that totally turns off the insects. And it repels them. Yeah, it masks the scents. Okay, so normally insects are attracted to us because we secrete carbon dioxide. We also have lactic acid on our skin, and they're like, yum, yum. Particularly the mozzies, they're like, I really like that. So what we do is we burn a citronella candle nearby, and it masks the effect of that, and it deters the insects from coming near us. So this is a really good non-toxic way to repel insects without having to wear a lot of that DEET. So finally, summing up the plants, you might want to pause and fill in your tables. But there are only two types of barriers in plants. And then after you finish this, you can go to the end of 7.1 and finish some questions there. And what we have done is we've done our physical, chemical, and microbiological barriers. All finished. Yay!